Hey, welcome everybody to Daf Yomi, Yerushalmi. We're up to Sechs Megillah Daf Chav Zayin. We are, what is this? At 10 lines down. The first word on the line, Reb Shimon ben Lakish. Boy, Reb Shimon Lakish asked, Tzir So'im and Maushi Yitchas HaShabbos Bayom. Now, if you recall yesterday on Machlokes, what the din of Tzir So'im is meant to be done at night. So is it Doiche Shabbos if it's done during the day? And we said, really, Chaim Kanievsky explains that this is going according to the Shita that you can do it even during the day. Um, according to Rabbanan, according to Elazar Shimon, we said you can't do it during the day. Um, so the question is over here, if you're doing during the day, according to Rabbanan, is it Doiche Shabbos? So the Heser Rabbi, the question is this really Abaya? A couple of places in Shas where there's actually one place in the Yerushalmi, I forget where it is off the top of my head, but mentions actually Abaya and Rava on the same Amud. Um, but most people agree that it's not Abaya and Rava. This is Rebbe Abaya, it might be somebody else, and Rava could be Rav Ba, who appears many times in the Yerushalmi. Okay. Hey, so Rebbe Abaya, Vatuni mitzvah selikta b'layla. Right, it says in the Mishnah, what kind of question is that? But in the mitzvah liktzar b'layla, niktzar b'yom kosher, but derech Shabbos. So so Rabbi Bai is assuming that derech Shabbos is going on both niktzar b'yom and mitzvah liktzar b'layla. V'loy kiblei. However, Rish Lakish didn't go for this answer because he felt that no, that's not that derech Shabbos is going on mitzvah liktzar b'layla. It's not necessarily going on b'yom. That hence his question. Amar Bacha Chaza Bei Reb Shimon Lakish min Adai. Actually, Reb Shimon Lakish didn't even have a question. He was chayzer from his question. Why? Kivan shecha shecha amalehen boy ba shemesh oimehim. Right. So we know when they got together to do the oimer to be mighty from the leaving from the Tzedukim, they made a big tararam about it because we know them. They said it has to. They dashened that it's done dafka on Matzah Shabbos, and the whole drush over there. So to be Moitzi Libon that we do it Matzah Yontif even on Shabbos. It was Doiche Shabbos, and they did it with a big rabbi. A lot of people got together. They gathered, and he would say. They would get together and they would say um, they repeated everything over there twice. It's brought down, and they would say, just looking up the lashon here, right? They said what they said gadol, and they would say to them Ba Shemesh when it got night out. He would say Ba Shemesh, they say Ba Shemesh, and he repeat everything twice, like I said, and they would say Shabbazu, and they would say yes, it's Shabbos, and they would say again Shabbazu, and they would say yes, it's Shabbos. So we see from over here, now if he did it during the day, obviously he wasn't going to say Ba Shemesh. He would say Shabezu. So what do we see from over here? Right, so it says Ba Shemesh. So Kivin Shecha Shecha. So Kivin Shecha Shecha Amalahem Ba Shemesh Omehin. Ba Shemesh Omehin. Manan Keom Imel Laila Kvau Amor. We know that already. Elamein in Laila Tneu Liyoim, and he's saying Shabazu, Shabazu, and they say yes. So we see from over here, it's not a problem. They can cut it even on Shabbos during the day. Dava. Now the Gemara says, what about a case like this? Dava Shudeiches a Shabbos Biyoyim. You have something that's Deiches Shabbos during the day. Machshir of Maush Yitchus a Shabbos Balayla. Let's say you have to prepare something and need something to get done. So it's not directly the mitzvah, but it's necessary in order to perform the mitzvah. Like, for example, can you sharpen a knife on Shabbos to do a bris? Bris is Deiches Shabbos, but sharpening the knife, which is necessary, it's very hard, difficult to do a bris without a sharp knife, or at least will be painful. But can you sharpen the knife on Shabbos? So that's a machlokes. So saying over here, the question is, once the mitzvah is necessary to be done during the day, can you already do the machshirim of the mitzvah the night before? So, Vataninon, Hamidu, I say Chavitin lasses Chavitin. When they did the Chavite Kohen Gadol, they boiled up the water for it the night before. So we see obviously that, and they weren't going to use it till the next day. So we see it can be Doiche Shabbos even the night before. So when it says, who says it's talking about on Shabbos? Maybe to Bata B'chol, maybe it's during the weekend. There's no right to us. Tanur Chia Barada, no, it has to be. It's Doiche Shabbos because they will say the Talmud La Avodas Beis Elokeinu Bein B'chol Bein Shabbos. Whatever was done in the Beis Hamikdash, whatever malacha, it was always done the same, whether it was on Shabbos or on Yom Tov. So therefore, when it says by the Chavitin, they did all the necessary preparations for the Minchas Chavitin. So, including warming up the water, it was done the same way during the week as the same day on Shabbos is done during the week. So, therefore, it could be it is Derech Shabbos. V'ataninun katzrun sanu bekupais v'aviu ba'azara v'imahavav hinoisai ba'or kidei l'kaima mitzvahs koli. We see when they brought in the oimer. So right after they cut it, the mashmah says immediately they singed it, even if it was even was on Shabbos. Rabbi Yosef, well, maybe I can say that case is different because when keeping shehischel b'mitzvah, I'm morid, complete it. Now, once you get started with the mitzvah, they tell you, okay, go ahead and finish up the mitzvah. But that could be different because you started, which we know it's mutter to cut it on Shabbos. So once you cut it already, so now complete the mitzvah even on Shabbos. But we're asking, even if you haven't started the mitzvah yet, right? Mitzvah's only started the next day. Hey, said Rabbi Yudin Kaputkia, Kumi Rabbi Yoyisi, Agatz Mechoshabam in Aliyah. What about a case, and there's no mashmos that there's any difference over here, is if you hold according to the Shita we said yesterday, that I think it's Rabbanon Shita, that you're allowed to even take it. You don't have to dafka cut. You don't have to perform the ktsira, the ayman. Let's say you already have pre-cut. You can bring that too. Well, in that case, you didn't start the mitzvah, you didn't cut, you weren't Mechal Shabbos. What about that case? Kiven loy hischel b'mitzvah ein oimrim loy mareik. Right? Maybe you'll say if he didn't start the mitzvah because he didn't cut, so it was Mechal Shabbos. So maybe we don't tell him complete the mitzvah. Hey, Sib Rabbi Yaakov Basusi, Kum Rabbi Yosi, Vahotanin Ulun Sha'al Mahalach Laila V'yoyim Mechal Shabbos V'yoytzin Leidas HaChodesh. Right, so we know by Eidos HaChodesh, they could go out and the Mechal Shabbos even for a day and a night. In order to get there on time, you can even go on Friday night for Shabbos day. So we see obviously again you could be Mechal. So he said, no, because in order to get to Bezdin, if I have to travel at night, that's necessary for getting there the next day. That's one avodah. What we're asking is different. We're asking the Machshira mitzvah, again, not the guf for the mitzvah, Machshira mitzvah for the mitzvah the next day. Amri Yosef Rabbi Bona, v'lo mafreya hu kadosh, mikivin shu kashim mafreya hu yoim hu laila. So Rabbi Yosef Rabun says, no, it's not a raya. Why? Because really the din, when we're Mekadesh the Chodesh, right? Let's say you're sitting, you're right, Mekadesh the Chodesh, if we're sitting today, now it's Wednesday night. So we're sitting Thursday and we're Mekadesh on Thursday. That means Wednesday night is already Rosh Chodesh. So really you're preparing. You can't bring the raya from over here to our case because by Kiddush HaChodesh, when you're traveling at night, it's going to be Rosh Chodesh that night, right? If you're traveling at night, it's to bear witness that you saw the moon. And Rosh Chodesh is on Shabbos, and you're traveling Friday night. Rosh Chodesh is also Friday night. So again, it's not a raya to our case. Okay. Hadron loch perek hakolam afreya, hadron loch perek hakolam afreya, hadron loch perek hakolam afreya, bli neder, fangt on the dritte perek. Bnei Yir, sagt Eli Mishnah Bnei Yir shemochru lechover shel Yir. They sold the town square. Loichim b'damer beis haknesses. Obviously, the Tana holds that there's some kind of kedusha in the town square. They can go and buy a shul with it. So you have to get your malam b'kaidish. The rule is, so you can take the money from the rechav shul and buy a shul. Beis haknesses. So you have to go up and kedusha like and teva. You can buy an aron kaidish. Teva. They sold aron kaidish like mitpaches. They can buy the mantle, the covering for the for Sfarim, or for the Sefer Torah, I should say. Mitpachas like Svarim. They sold the mitpachas. They can buy regular Svarim. Svarim, they're selling Svarim, then you're already holding close to the tap like in Torah. You can only buy Torah with that because that's the highest in terms of Kedusha. Avlimachru Torah, but the other way around, now you can't do it. Leichu Svarim. Svarim leichu mitpachas, and mitpachas leichu teva, teva leichu besek neses, besek neses leichu eser chayiv, bechem b'masrei, and also with the leftover money. So if you did everything correctly, and you went and you sold at the town square and you bought a shoe, yet you have leftover money. You only needed half the money. What do you do with the other half? You cannot go down in kedusha. It has to remain you have to go up in kedusha. Fine. Bnei Ish Machru Chayv Shili Ezek the Gemara Rabbi Yochanan the Rabbi Nachman Rabbi Yosi. This is the sheet of Rabbi Nachman Rabbi Yosi. Rabbi Nachman Yosi Amar Rechayv Shalir Yesh Lo Kedusha. It's got Kedusha. Why? She came and seen Sefer Torah recorded by Berabim. We take it as Sefer Torah. Sometimes it's brought down in the tiniest that they used to have for Geshem or for other tzaras. At one point, it was they used to take out the Aron Kodesh into the street and they would daven over there by Nes Tzara. So therefore, as a din of kedusha. However, Bram Karabon they argue. They say no. Also, as a kahachik arba amis, as a din of a chok of dalad amis. What's the chok of dalad amos? Chok dalad amis is that a person should not daven where he urinated within 4 amis. But the Rechav Shali itself, the Rabbanon hold, does not have a din of kedusha. Rabbi Yirmiyah Shmuel Bar Chaluf b'shem Rav Ada Bar Achu hamispal lo yoruk ad she'alach arba amas. If you're davening and you have to spit, so you walk 4 amas away from the place you were davening, you spit over there. Again, we're not talking about in the shul. We're talking about in a temporary place. That's how this ties into the previous sugya. Amar Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Bon v'chein roikin. If someone spits, hamispal she'alach arba amas. Walk away from where you spat. Tani hamispal lo yatel mayim ad she'alach arba amas. If you're davening in a place and you have to urinate, so you walk away 4 amas, urinate over there. Somebody who's meitel mayim, someone who urinated in a place, who shouldn't daven over there, you should walk away 4 amas and daven. When we say walk away arba amas, we don't mean we don't mean literally walk away 4 amas. You should wait a hiluch of arba amas. Why? Because im halach arba amas, you also, right? You'll tell me that if I walk 4 amas till I walk actually 4 amas, it's also how do I know somebody else didn't urinate where I just walked to? So I walked from the place where I urinated from, and I walked to a different place. Maybe somebody urinated over there, especially in those days where there were no bathrooms. It's certainly right. It's certainly a valid chashash. So therefore, you wait. So therefore, it urinates. And he says, wait 4 hours because then it's been absorbed into the ground, the urine. Baishanoi, that's people of Baishan. Shalom, they asked Rav Imi, Mahu likach avonu mi beis hakneses zu v'livnos beis hakneses acher. So you have a beis hakneses that's kind of dilapidated, destroyed, and they want to take the bricks from that shul to build a different shul. Amaloin, he said to them, Aser. The reason he asked it is because of Agmas Nefesh. In other words, we want you to take this shul that was destroyed, and you walk by it, and you see like the churba in the old days in the old city. You walk by, you see, look what happened to the shul. So we want you to build up that shul. Don't take the bricks from the churva shul and move it to a new shul. Reb Gurion, Omar, Migdaloi, people of Migdal, Shalom, Reb Shimon Bar Lakish. They asked Rish Lakish, Ma likach avonu me'ir zuv livnos be'ir acheres. Can you take stones from a Beis HaKnesses that was in this city and use it to build a Beis HaKnesses in a different city? Amaloin also. Reb Imi afilu mizracha lemarava also. Why? Even in the same city, you want to move it a block over. Either the shul is in this block, you're going to move it a block away. You can't do that either, because again, the same reason. We don't want you to forget that there was a shul over here that has a makom kedusha, and you should rebuild that shul. Therefore, you cannot use the bricks to build even another shul, which is l'chayra. It sounds like, well, why not? They're both a shul. They both have equal kedusha. No, we don't want you to do that. Else agmas nefesh.